bravest. Let me know how far you wanna take this. I've been having dreams of winning. I can see myself in an esteemed position. I got no qualms, I got no fears. I got blood, sweat, and tears under my belt, and now I'm switching gears, and there's no stopping. You got no options. We win by any means necessary. You got it. I'm gonna hunt you down. Yeah, I ain't playing around. I'ma take your crown.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Global Ghost Hunt Halftime Show. I am Matt, paranormal consultant, with my host and my brother, Nando from Portal to the Paranormal. What is up, brother?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. It's finally our turn. Oh, man. No, in all seriousness, it's been a great show so far. It's been a great event. I know I've had a lot of fun. I know you've had a lot of fun. Both of us have participated. You actually participated twice.
Yeah.
You cheater.
But, you know.
But
yeah.
You know, I have to say something before we get into a couple of things. I noticed, though, because for those of you who don't know, who haven't been following, Nando was a part of the Patrol's investigation and also Portal to the Paranormals. But I noticed something.
Ooh.
You're in charge of merchandise, but yet either time you didn't have any Global Ghost Hunt merch on.
Because I ordered it. I made a mistake. I didn't order it from our merch shop, but it has arrived finally. So I will wear it on you. I will wear it. You will see me wearing it. I promise.
I had to give you crap for it. I promised Brian I would give you crap, and I wanted to.
I knew it was going to come up, but no, I did get it. But yeah, I will be wearing it. I will be wearing it.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So, guys, we have had a great time so far. We've had a lot of really great teams. We've had a lot of beautiful locations. I know I had a lot of fun recording mine over at Penhurst. Mackenzie and I, we had a blast doing it. But let's take care. Hello, I just had a random hair fly at me. Let's see, these aren't scripted. Let's take care of something first. So, as most of you know, we had on the schedule the Tombstone Paracon. Great event. Absolutely great event. A lot of great speakers from what we were watching. It was cut short for whatever reason. But I will let you guys know if you follow along, which is why we want you to subscribe and everything else and like and follow. Brian and a couple of us will be talking about this later. But we have spoken with Tombstone, talking with the actual city themselves and the actual guy who's running it, who's running the Paracon. We'll just say some things didn't go like they were planned, which is it's fine. Stuff happens. But there are there is some big news coming, and there's a lot of different details that we want to talk to. We're going to talk to everybody about. But I want to give a huge shout out to she's the deputy city clerk. Her name is Carissa Presti, and and all those guys for working with us. And we'll get everything going. We'll have some fun. We'll you'll be seeing them in the future a lot. I will just say that. And I'm not going to spoil everything because I know Mister is in the back, and I know he wants to talk about it, which is fine. But speaking of Mister, I'm going to bring him up. I think, you know what, we've all been doing a lot with this, but Mister, yeah, I see you. He's been doing just as much, if not actually a lot more than a lot of us, and I want to hear his take on it. So, ladies and gentlemen, the owner, operator, founder, whatever you want to call him, with the laundry list of resume of the Global Ghost Hunt, Brian John Laverty. Mister.
Yeah, well, this is apparently a surprise. I wasn't expecting this.
Well.
I was expecting to sit in the back and do what I need to do, and that was it.
No, yeah. You're coming up. You're coming up.
What's going on? Yeah, what is going on?
You never know with these shows. You should know this by now.
Yeah, I know. And just to add to what you said, because I don't want to get too deep into that, because we are going to be talking about it on Sunday. I've had long conversation. I had a very long conversation with Carissa yesterday and a few other people that were involved in that conversation. I had I had a very long conversation with Bruce last night, Burnett, who's also an organizer of the Tombstone. And a lot is going to be said on Sunday. And unfortunately, we need to do it because Tombstone, let me put it this way, Tombstone is not happy on what occurred. And we're not happy on what occurred. And we'll talk more about it on Sunday so everybody knows everything. Because there is a lot to talk about when it comes to that. A lot of things we didn't know, a lot of things they didn't know, and it wasn't a miscommunication between either of us. Unfortunately, the person who was involved. But we'll get into more of that on Sunday. I'll be honest with the event so far. Obviously, I'm going to be. I've loved every single minute of it. I know we've had a couple of issues here and there, but people, that's live.
Yep.
Those are live investigations. And it's been wonderful. It's been amazing. I've been overwhelmed. I've gotten tons and tons of messages from people on how happy they are with the event so far. And we still got more teams to come and some great investigations coming. I will say tonight, we have two. We have Haunted 505 Paranormal. Now, people are going to say, well, that wasn't the location that she was doing. She had to change her locations for a certain reason. And her show is at a half an hour earlier than expected. She's going on at 6:30 instead of 7. And she will be only streaming till 8 for reasons that maybe she'll talk about in the investigation. And then we have PN Paranormal. I will let people know this is pre-recorded, but it is an amazing investigation. Michael Wong, you guys, it's great. And Dumas Brothel has now become a place on my list of places that I want to go.
You're not the only one.
Yeah, this place is incredible. Michael did an incredible job. I don't want to give anything away, but one thing I will say, Michael did this alone.
Which I'm just awestruck and honestly a little jealous. But
yeah,
he was on through the lens with you and Lex, and from day one when I first saw this guy, I was like, he's going to be changing this field.
Yeah, he was also on Ghost Biker on Parapost Network International 2 page. He was on her show a couple of weeks ago. Michael is definitely on the rise to be a great investigator, and he hasn't been doing it very long. And his investigation at Dumas Brothel, you do not want to miss. And
we were lucky to see 30 seconds of it, and to see him go into this location all on his own.
Yes. And he slept there too.
He slept there. It's definitely going to be one to watch. It looks like a great investigation.
Yeah, Brian gave us a little tease earlier, and I think Nando will attest to this too. It's like, okay, we could have sat here all day watching that.
Yeah, and Michael did a wonderful job. I got it last night. I obviously downloaded it last night. I played a little bit. I went through some of it, and again, I'm not going to give anything away, but it's an incredible investigation for a person who did it by himself.
Absolutely,
and kudos to him for doing that, because obviously Dumas Brothel is very active.
Yes.
And it's great. But overall, the rest of the teams, amazing. Everybody did amazing. And I'm so thrilled people that are watching are enjoying it. We're getting a lot of wonderful comments, a lot of wonderful feedback. There really hasn't been anything negative at all. I think I've seen one comment that was negative. But other than that, it's been amazing. And let's be honest, guys, we didn't know what to expect.
No,
all of us are doing this for the first time. And, when you do this kind of stuff, you're a little bit in the back of your mind, you're going, okay, what's going to go wrong? What's going to go wrong? But it's been amazing. And I'm so happy people are enjoying it. The lives that have been going on, there's been people in the room that have been there for every single minute and every single investigation, like Rootless, like David Hale, like Rosanna.
Yeah.
There's, Patty's been in there all the time. There's been so many people that have been, Anthony, there's been Gail. Gail
Raymond
is in the room now. And, so people have been watching, they've been enjoying, and they've been having fun too. Like one thing I noticed in a lot of the chats, like especially through YouTube, people are just chatting away while the investigation is going on.
Absolutely.
And it's been amazing. And we got another, today's Wednesday. We got another 4 days, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And then we have the wrap up show on Sunday. So keep going, everybody. Keep doing your thing. Keep making the comments. Keep sharing. Keep liking. And this will be a fantastic event by the end of it. And what I like is a lot of these teams that are in it now are coming back in October.
Which is awesome.
So get in there, get to the Global Ghost Hunt website, and sign up your team or your location. That's the way you're going to get noticed, and people are getting noticed, and it's great. And that's what we wanted. The locations are getting noticed, the teams are getting noticed, and the numbers are huge. The numbers are big, and just taking look at all the numbers, and that's because of the viewers and them sharing out and stuff like that. So keep it going. You guys have a great show, and have fun. Take me down, please.
He wasn't expecting that, was he?
Nope, and I had to. Come on, you guys know me better than that. But no, actually, absolutely. And just to kind of put note on what Brian just said, guys, huge shout out to you all over on the YouTube side. You guys have been phenomenal with your support. We really appreciate it. I know the teams appreciate it. Facebook, step your game up. So we were talking about what's been going on. Let's talk about the investigations that we've seen so far. And what better way than the patrol? Let's start with them. You were there firsthand, brother. Have at it. Let's hear about it.
So, firstly, we do want to apologize. There was technical issues with the location. So when we first set up, this is the funny thing. Everything was going smoothly. We had everything running. And then as soon as we started hitting the live, the signal started cutting in and out.
Mm-hmm.
But firstly, I do want to say on the patrol's half, we had a professional cameraman there that night, and he's going to be putting together the full investigation. And I believe Brian has agreed to share that out onto the Global Ghost Hunt. So you'll see a true reflection of what took place at Arundel Jailhouse. But as an investigation, it was really good. We had some phenomenal responses through the EVP recorder.
Mm-hmm.
The lads were just great to work with as well. They are so fun. They know how to have a good time. And yeah, it was a really good location. Not massive, but it was big enough for what we wanted to do. And it was just again, it was one of those locations that you didn't know what you were going to walk into, and then we started getting tapping noises. And the funny thing is, there was a lot of walking around upstairs in the town hall.
Mm-hmm.
But we know for a fact the town hall was actually closed. It was empty. There was no one up there. So there was a lot going on in the background. But it was a great investigation to be part of, and to work with the patrol was awesome for us.
Yeah, and you know what? It was really, we had some audio issues on at least our end, because I don't know if everybody in the audience knows this, but Brian and or myself have been backstage for all of these investigations, even the recorded ones. We've been backstage and we've been diligently watching just to make sure we are ready to go, and make sure everything's running smooth. And I know there was some audio issues with the patrol, and it happens. I don't know about you, Nando, but I know for me, I've gone to locations, I've checked my equipment, I've checked everything. Everything looks good, and then I hit live and nothing.
Oh,
it happens.
It does happen. And the thing is, like you say a few times, none of this is actually scripted. We had Luke with us, and he was filming. and he had a full battery pack. And for some reason, as he walked through the jailhouse, the camera completely shut off completely, showing that the battery was completely dead. 2 minutes later, it all popped back on. So he was able to carry on filming.
Right.
So there's things going on that I think could something have been telling us they didn't want us to record that night. It could have been anything, but like I said, we have got footage for them, so we're going to put that on so people can see the actual investigation in better quality, and the audio will be really good with it as well.
No, absolutely. And I mean, it happened to me. It happened to me at my investigation, which we'll go over here shortly when it comes time. But we're just going to go down through the list. But yeah, so definitely, guys, if you haven't already, go check out The Patrol. I don't know if it's Big Rob or Little Rob, but one of the Robs. Rob is in the room. I'll just say it that way because I know it's right. It's at least Rob.
I bet it's Big Rob. I bet it's Big Rob in the room.
But I will say the setup, Rob, if it is Big Rob, if it is you, I was very impressed with the setup, with the equipment, the investigation itself. Everything was great. Everything was great. But you know what? Like Brian said, this is the first time that we're doing an event like this. Obviously, there's going to be some issues, and it was still a great investigation. End of story. End of story. It was a great investigation,
and people will see. Like I said, we are going to get the footage and put that all on the Global Ghost Hunt page, so people will see the full investigation. Eventually, it's being put together as we speak. Yeah.
Awesome. I can't wait. So next on the list is CMPS. That's the team we saw the first day. They ended out the first day with Suzette, Jasmine and her team. And honestly, folks, we have a little surprise. Suzette will be coming up a little bit later on in the show to discuss it. So I'm not going to give away anything, but I will say it was a really, really good investigation. The location was stunning.
And just to mention for Suzette and her team, I think that's the first ever live they've done as a team. And what they put out, and for the first time, they did a fantastic job. Because again, they didn't know what to expect, or and I've had the pleasure of speaking to Suzette in the background, the lead up to this. And bless her, she's been really excited about it. And I think for our first time doing it live, they did a great job.
Absolutely.
So proud of what they did.
Absolutely. And we got a little thing I'll show you guys later, but Suzette actually took it a step further than just showing up with equipment. And we'll talk about that later on in the show. But you're absolutely right. To my understanding, that was their first live. And I don't even think they even have done a podcast, which is sad because they are a really great team. And the SK Pierce Victorian Mansion was it lived up to the hype. It really did.
Lovely location. It was
amazing location. And I said it during my investigation. I'll say it now. I'll say it all the time. That doll is freaking creepy. If you know, you know. But no, do you know which one I'm talking about? The one there on the bed? Yeah, about halfway through, they were leaving that one room, and that doll was just sitting there. No.
I think that's the problem. The dolls, there's just something about dolls. I don't know if Anthony, he had a thing about dolls for a while, didn't he? And they just creep me out. That's another subject altogether with me, with dolls.
See, for me, it's like a PTSD thing. I walked into a room for a client here in Pennsylvania, and little did I know there was about 47 or so dolls all facing the door. So I walked in the investigation to get cameras set up, and I have 47 sets of eyes staring at me. And I went, no. Walked right out. Like, gave it to one of my investigators. I go, here, you put it up there. Needless to say, the consultant did not go in that room that night. Anyway, so next on the list, paranormal. Here at the Waldorf Hell House here in PA. My God. That was one of the first times I've seen my buddy Dan. He's got a haunted attraction that has activity, but this is the first one I've seen actually investigated live. What were your thoughts on the investigation itself?
I think what it is for me, I'm seeing locations for the first time that I've never heard of before. And I think just that in itself is the wow factor at the moment, you know, because we're getting to see these new locations. And you've said it before, your bucket list is growing and growing with all these locations being shown. Like, but again, another location that I'd love to get into, and you know, and just get more out of it. Do you know what I mean? What they did was great, but I would love to, you know, spend, you know, with all these locations. We could say this on every one we go past. It's just like, let me get there. Let me do an investigation there and see what happens.
Absolutely. And, you know, I found it interesting that it was something that I never really thought of, but at these haunted attraction houses, like where they were over at the Waldorf, you get a lot of weird shadow play. It's not like your typical house. You've got these mannequins, you've got other things that are up, like decorations and whatnot. And your mind really gets freaked out a little bit. Like it throws you off. And that's something I wonder if, you know, paranormal actually, you know, practiced. Is that one of those locations where you'd have to? I would almost, you know, expect you would.
It's like with some of the, after they've gone their lives, you know, I've gone back on because you think you've seen something that they've not seen. And you're there studying the video really carefully to see if you can pick up anything, because there's so much going on as well. You know, it's I think that's the thing. After all of this, it's going through and seeing if there is things that we can pick up that other teams haven't picked up, and you know, maybe show that on the page as well.
Absolutely. And again, folks, if you guys are listening into us, and if you guys hear or you remember something from these investigations, please go ahead and say it. This is completely interactive. We are watching the comments very closely. But yeah, if you guys have any input, please let us know. But yeah, and you know, in that region where paranormal was here in Pennsylvania, like I said, it's coal region. That's what we go at. That's the whole mining town. That whole area is nothing but coal. So it's not like your typical town where it just kind of sprouts up. It's one of those, they have settlements. You start off with settlements and you start building it from nothing. So it's kind of interesting to me that it might be not just a home that's haunted. That might be one of those scenarios where it's the whole town.
The land
Yeah.
and everything.
So you really never know. You really never know. All right, so let's see. Oh, moving on. Moving on. Next is we saw a 3.5 hour. It's supposed to be a 6, but again, it just happened. The Tombstone Paracon, the Wild West Paracon. Honestly, I know we didn't see much, guys, during the live, but I will say what we did see. I actually learned a couple of things. I know audio again was a little shaky, but I don't know if you got a chance to actually listen to what these speakers were talking about, but you've got cryptozoology, you've got personal experiences, you've got a whole bunch of different things in the paranormal field. And I honestly learned a few. I learned a few, especially with the UFOs.
Yeah, I think the only thing with that, we didn't see a true reflection of what Tombstone had put together, which is unfortunate, because there was a lot more to be seen. But, you know, what we did see, they had some great speakers there, you know, and, you know, but like Brian said, like Matt said earlier on, there's a lot more to come when it comes to the Tombstone Paracon, you know, so, you know, we're looking forward to that as well.
Absolutely. And I know there was vendors there. There was a whole bunch of different things. But, I mean, I was impressed for what I saw. I really was. I mean, they had a nice little setup. You were in this, you know, building, this hall, and the speakers were great. The speakers we heard were absolutely great. The host was great about it, and everything else. Hold on. Time out. We have a time change. We have a time change real quick. Hold on. Breaking news. So Haunted 505 will be at 8:30 Eastern time. Okay. Now, they will be at 8:30 Eastern time, and PN Paranormal, Michael, will be on at 10. So he'll be on from 10 to midnight Eastern, and 505 will be on from 8:30 to 10. So cool. Thank you, Brian. See, this is what I mean. Mr. is backstage. See, it's almost like we have a teleprompter. I love it. But but no, see, and that's the fun thing. We never know. You never know. Things change, things pop up, whatever. But we're learning just like everybody else. And you know what? It's so far been a blast. And like I said, huge props to the Tombstone Wild West Paracon for putting on what they did. And huge shout out to the speakers we did hear, because like I said, it was really, really awesome. I learned a lot. And I learned a lot about, I mean, I like UFOs. I like learning about that, the extraterrestrials and all that stuff. I learned stuff. I learned stuff
Just
about
face that you can learn so much from these paracons, not just about what we all have our specific fields, but they open it up to so many different things. So I think it was great to be able to stream live the paracon as part of the Global Ghost Hunt.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm shooting a message because we got some special guests coming up here here in a little bit, so don't go anywhere, guys. But so let's switch gears. Let's go back to the paranormal. And after the Paracon, we had a little bit of a break. Well, no, you guys actually went live while it was going on. So some people might have missed.
We had a bit of a crossover, didn't we?
We did. I think that was one of the only ones. That's the only one we really had. So you're up, brother. Tell us about it. Where were you at? What were you doing? And
so we investigated Murchison Hall, a fantastic Grade 2 building with loads of history. A lot of it was based around a admiral called Sir Charles Napier. The paranormal side of the story is that he is known to still be walking the grounds of Murchison Hall. He has been seen going back into his office. And then the other one is this mysterious grey lady that, just seems to be walking around the building. So we did a number of experiments. We do our call outs. We did the spirit box. There was a lot of activity on the staircase throughout the night. And you know what? During the start of the night, we started off very, like little bits. Mm-hmm. We were picking up like names. We were picking up little voices. And then afterwards, we started to get some more stuff. And then Sarah took over with Jojo and Paul and Lauren. Mm-hmm. And they went up into I think it may have been the Admiral's sitting room where they did the Ouija board session.
Yeah.
And then they had some great, responses coming through, the K2 meter going off. So it was a great investigation. Part of it, we uncovered a sad story about the location, about a young girl that was murdered in the early 90s there.
Okay.
And it, the thing with this location was when we first went, we were guided outside. The second time we went, we were asked to go outside again. So we do believe that this young girl definitely wants to communicate in some way, but I think she's just finding it hard to really express herself, because I don't think she realizes that she may be dead, or I don't know.
Oh.
I think it's one of those that we've got to go back repeatedly so we can build a rapport. So I do believe we're building rapport with these spirits that we communicate with. But it was a great location. It was just great to be part of something new as well, streaming it live with the Global Ghost Hunt and then reflecting on all the comments afterwards. It was just a great experience. And there was just so many people. We're still going through comments, people seeing things that we didn't see. Brian messaged me saying, as Sarah was setting up, or as she was doing the Ouija board, a black mist or something went across her face. Mm-hmm. So we're just going through everything, trying to piece of those bits, and then we can put that footage on our page as well. But it was a great location, great investigation.
Awesome. Yeah, and it looked great. It looked like a beautiful location. And I remember you guys using the Ouija board, the spirit board, and I have to give huge shout outs and huge props to Sarah, to your wife. I have to.
She knew what she was doing with that board, wasn't she? So
she did, and she also, the communication was there, the tone, the gentleness, everything. She was right on point. She had her A game on and did an amazing job. The entire team did, and it was good seeing you on camera finally.
Yeah. I do you know what? I this was a perfect opportunity because not everyone's got to know me quite well, which I think is great. I've made some amazing friends through this, but I've got amazing friends as part of Portal to the Paranormal, and it was great for everyone to actually see Dan being on camera. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have this team. You got Jojo, you got Sean. Everyone in that team deserves their place on the screen as well. So I'm just really pleased everyone got to show what they can do. And like you just said, Sarah got to show herself what she does in an investigation. Paul getting involved, doing the Gansfield. And, it was just great for all of them to be in front of the camera showing what they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. The entire Portal to the Paranormal team did a really phenomenal job. Now, what about any personal experiences, since I have you up here? What about any personal experiences? Do you guys have anything happen the camera didn't see? You can give us a little teaser about?
Yeah, so we went down into the basement. I don't know if you saw, but I tried to go down in the basement while it was live, and it cut out. So,
yep.
But afterwards, we went back down there, and we heard a man's voice in the background, like clear as day. And bless, we had some of the guests wanted to be part of it as well, and a young chap called Dan, and he was freaking out a little bit. He wasn't expecting it. We had that, and again, just the footsteps, little things were happening that I think we may have picked up because we went live on our own cameras afterwards, so we could film live, and we're just filtering through the footage and everything just to see what we can share out and everything. But yeah, it was just a great investigation. If anyone saw anything that we didn't, just let us know, and then we'll go back and we'll review it and see what we can pick up.
Fair enough. And speaking of Dan, I see he just joined the chat. Welcome, Dan.
Yeah.
Great job. Great investigation. It looked like a beautiful, and like I told Nando, all of Portal should be proud of themselves. That was a great investigation. You all did a great job. As did all the teams.
Yeah.
So the next one we're going to touch a little bit on, because this individual is going to be coming up, hopefully. He's on his way home. It will be coming up on the halftime show, and that is SRI Huntington. My boy, Brian Clary. They were at the Museum of Radio and Technology here in West Virginia. And honestly, I was impressed. That is a lot of hardware. Did you? Yeah. I don't know if you saw the beginning of it, but Brian did a really great job of that walk.
Yeah, the walkthrough was absolutely brilliant. He done a great job, and what a quirky location as well. It was another location that was very, very different to what we used to seeing.
Yeah.
I think he did a great job in showcasing that location. Talking through about the location and everything that's in there. It was great to watch.
Absolutely. And we talk about trigger objects all the time. Like you can, like, I know when I've investigated, I've taken my medals from the military. I'll take some toys for the kids and stuff like that. You're talking about a location that has nothing but possible trigger objects.
Yeah.
Like, this was somebody's great grandparents' radio just chilling in their in their house, and it's in this museum, and it's all over. It's not just one room; it's the whole freaking building. And the knowledge that Brian and his team have of this location was just great. It was, we actually, for everybody at home, we actually were kind of throwing out some suggestions to the teams as the event was going on. And one of them was a walkthrough. A lot of you said you would like to see a walkthrough, learn about the location a little bit. And Brian Clary stepped up. Let's be honest, he stepped up. And so did all of SRI. And the one thing I really want to give a shout out to is his investigator that gave the weather. And the lunar cycle. That's something that gets missed a lot. Brian, Mr., was saying was saying about the thinning of the veil. That's when this, it was starting at the beginning of our event. They followed suit with this by saying, we just had a full moon. It's in this cycle. It's that. I think us as investigators forget about that. We forget about some of the other things. You have to take everything into account.
But didn't we say this before the event started? We're going to be learning a lot from investigators on how they do things. And, it's simple things that they do that we wouldn't have thought of until we've seen it. And now we can sort of think, let's put that into practice ourselves. So we're learning a lot from these teams on how because we all do it differently, and I don't think the way we're all doing it, there's no right or wrong way, but we can learn so much of everyone, which is great.
Well, and I think, too, that a lot of people forget that the paranormal isn't just grab your equipment, go out, talk to dead people. No, you have to do your research. And Brian and his team nailed it, in my mind, as far as the learning, the teaching, and how it relates to the paranormal and these investigations. They did an outstanding job. Definitely. Absolutely outstanding. All right, so moving on is the one that I know you and I have both said we were really looking forward to, and that was Pitt's investigation at the Haunted Majestic. My God.
You can't.
I'm speechless.
It was, everything that we thought it was going to be. It was. It didn't let down. It was a great watch. And if you haven't, I would say go back and watch it. You will not be disappointed watching their investigation unfold. It was great.
No, and they dealt with a lot that night. They dealt with a lot of interference because you're talking about a floating hospital, a hospital boat, if you will. Yeah. And they've got a lot of interference. That's a lot of metal. A lot of thick metal. And they made it work. They even got down to the bottom of the boat.
Yeah.
they were almost underneath the damn thing. And, they did a really solid walkthrough. Very knowledgeable. Learned a lot. Like, you think about the surgeries that they were doing. People literally died, and they're just like, okay, well, let's just move them to the side.
And I think the walkthroughs that they did, again, it sort of sets a scene for the viewers of what, they get a bit of an understanding. So when something happens, they can understand why that sort of thing's going on. So the walkthroughs was such a good idea. And I think it originally come up from viewers' comments that come up with that idea. And how much better does that make the live? Because people are getting an understanding of the buildings, the locations, and and when something does happen, they can go back, well, that's why that's happened because of this story here. So it's just such a good start to the investigations.
And you know what? One of the things, and I don't know, and I think we spoke privately about this, but I think Pitt has some kind of connection to the Haunted Majestic, whether they're employees or something, because their setup that they had at base camp was just, I was impressed. They had, at least 5 monitors?
Yeah, I think they had quite a few going on, didn't they?
5 monitors, at least 2 or 3 laptops going. They had the radios. They had everything on point, and they had it down to almost, excuse the pun, an exact science. They were prepared. And, I have to give them huge props for that because, that was really good. We all enjoyed, obviously, everybody's investigation, but that one I was really impressed with. And again, it's one of those, you've got a lot of trigger objects, where they were at. Obviously, it was near water. They had a lot of insects. They had a lot of interference, but they still got the job done.
They still got the job done, and they did a great job with it. So
absolutely,
they did what they did, and it didn't let them down. They did an amazing job, and they should be. That's another team that should be proud of what they produced.
Absolutely. So if you guys, again, please go back and at least follow, because all of the descriptions we put their Facebook page, or at least a page to follow them. Please go back and follow everybody because they deserve it. Let's be honest. They all deserve it. Okay. All right. So moving on. Moving on is my investigation.
Can I just say before you go anywhere with it?
Go. I'm waiting.
I'm hoping if Mackenzie's watching,
she
was brilliant. She was absolutely awesome. You know, she was funny. The way she investigated was great, but her personality come out so much. I think that's the first time I've actually got to see her personality come out. And Matt, I tell you what, you're a funny guy, but she can give you a run for your money. She was awesome. You know, so I just want to say that she was funny, and I think it was towards the end. I won't say too much. I'll let you talk. But towards the end, she had me in fits. I just couldn't stop laughing.
You know, I couldn't figure out how I wanted to end that video, and just for the record, for all you guys, that was a pre-recorded. So I wish I was there, you know, a couple days ago, but sadly I wasn't. No, that was all pre-recorded. I had almost 10 hours worth of video footage, and I couldn't figure out how I wanted to end that. And when I came up and I saw that clip, I went, what better way to showcase Mackenzie and myself being ourselves than with this? And huge shout out to her. She did. I'm very proud of, very, very proud of her. And hi, Brian's playing peekaboo again. We'll get to him in a minute. I want to talk. We'll talk about that. But no, that's her. That's how she is. During the entire investigation, you heard Mackenzie and I just bantering back and forth. I think after that, we were still doing that. Like, I think yesterday, the day before, I just looked at her and I just went, I'm TikTok trendy. And you know, that's how we are. And that's the thing with a lot of people. The reason why we're like this is because we're ourselves. We want to be ourselves because, you know, spirits, it's easier to relate to. It's more welcoming. You in trouble.
What did I do?
I don't know. It just felt like the right thing to do at the moment. But I'm sure. We'll let Mister decide that. No, we'll let Jen decide that. Jen will let you know if you're in trouble. But no, in all seriousness though, like, you want to go out and be yourselves during these investigations. Don't put on an act. It's just like the shows. And honestly, Mackenzie stepped up. She did an outstanding job. And I personally, again, want to give a huge, huge shout out to the staff at Pennhurst. I actually learned a lot. And this is one of those locations where I think a lot of people in our field have heard of Pennhurst. They know what Pennhurst is. That's on a bucket list. Everybody's bucket list. It was on mine. It was on Mackenzie's. We were all hyped up. I was thinking, go in, scratched, pushed, get names yelled at. No, there you go.
Oh, okay. I feel better now. You know, I'm not going to lie. When you said it, I'm like, did I do something wrong? Oh. So thanks, Jen, for confirming that. Hi, Jen.
I love Jen. Jen's funny. But it was one of the locations where you hear about it. You see it on TV. You hear the history of it. You get all hyped up. You're thinking you're going to get pushed. You're going to have activity left and right. And you get there and it's just another location. It's just another location. Sometimes the spirits don't want to communicate. Sometimes they do. And that night, just like you guys had it with the patrol, my equipment was malfunctioning. You heard it during the investigation. I had do I have it right here? I don't, but I had my GoPro that I had on my chest. You saw it on camera. That was designated just for the Global Ghost Hunt. That's all it was going to be. I ended up using 5 different cameras and 5 different angles for the whole night for what you guys saw, because that camera would not work. I don't know why. My batteries on my regular camera drained. I went through like 2 or 3 batteries. My cell phone, same thing. I had to switch back and forth, and I had battery packs after battery packs. We had like 7 of them. By the end of the night, they were all dead. Excuse the pun, but they were all dead. And that's what we run into. So you just make do with it. You make do and you have fun.
And I think with the video, what we did see, you know, you can see, like, as soon as you stepped into Pennhurst, you know, there's something eerie about the place. Even from watching it from home, you sometimes, I don't know if it's where we've done so many locations, you sort of start, knowing by looking at these locations, you get a vibe with it. Yeah. But even like when you're walking through corridors and things like that, there's just something about it that, it just makes you feel on edge a little bit. But again, it's still a great location. And I said it at the start, Mackenzie just made it, it was great the way she did things, but the fun of it, I think it drew me in as a viewer. I really enjoyed it. And I think having you two bantering, and then it was just funny. It was a great investigation, but it was just great to watch you two, just doing your thing and doing it the way you two do it. It was just fun. And I think a lot of people that watched it will have that same feeling. It was just funny. It was great. The location was awesome. It was creepy, but what you two brought to it, Mackenzie, you did a better job, but you were both great.
I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you all day long. But again, one of the things though, like I really learned, and again, a huge shout out to the staff, very knowledgeable. And, please, if you haven't, go watch the walkthrough that I did. I did a live for that one, and not for me, but because of the staff. The staff did an amazing job. Please listen to their stories. They put a whole new spin on it. I personally thought, Penhurst, you're thinking, criminally insane people. You're thinking, really nasty people. No. People with ADHD, people with learning disability, Down syndrome, autism. These were the type of people that were there. And they were borderline tortured. And I mean, you're talking thin border. I mean, hearing their stories and hearing what they went through, Mackenzie and I even said after the live cutout for the walkthrough, we said, we need to rethink how we're going to hit this. Because we can't just go in like we wanted to. And again, guys, it's knowing your location. And again, huge shout out to them. All right, so moving along, we have the Ethereal Sisters.
They did a great job as well at the cottage.
I saw the thumbnail and I've seen the pictures of Clive Cottage, and I knew it wasn't going to be a huge location, but I knew it was going to be a good one. And Brian said it was a funny comment. Fair enough. The whole Jen thing. But I knew it wasn't going to be a big location, but it definitely had activity. And PETA and her team did another great job. And it's expected. I know PETA puts on the Ethereal Sisters do a great job. They do a great job investigating. They're very thorough. They're very understanding. They communicate well with the spirits. They relate to the spirits well, and they know their history. And honestly, for one of the first times, I'm speechless. I am speechless. I don't know what else to say besides they did a great job. They did a very great job.
Again, their walkthrough, the way they show the location, they did an amazing job, and it was just great. Again, seeing them to how they did things, it was just another great investigation.
Absolutely. And you know what? Honestly, I'm hoping the Ethereal Sisters, they get a chance to, do the October event. But honestly, you guys, go check them out. If you really want to learn some things, you really want to get some good information and good ways to investigate, go check them out. Because PETA and her team do a great job. They're very knowledgeable. So give me 1 second. Okay. So finally, before today's event, we have Newsom. Mr. Raymond Newsom from Newsom Paranormal. We all know Raymond. We all love Raymond. Raymond, more lights. We need more flashlights. We can't see shit on your. No, I'm joking. No, he did it in Raymond the way Raymond does.
And I think that's a testament to him. He has his way, and the way Raymond likes to investigate is in the dark. And I think you know, he did it the way he knows best how to.
Yeah, and you know what? This was a location that I was excited for because I saw when Brian and them went to Octagon Hall, and we've heard the stories, especially the crickets. I know Brian loves the crickets, but you know, to actually dig in and to see a little bit more of it, Raven did a great job. The history there, the investigation, it was very thorough. I've only caught. I'll have to admit, I only caught part of it because obviously yesterday I was working. But from what I saw, he's going to get a lot of evidence out of that. He's going to be getting some good stuff. I mean, I don't know about shadows because they couldn't see much, but I just had to give him crap. So, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we actually have our very first guest. And I wanted to bring a couple of, well, Nando and I were talking about it, and we wanted to highlight a couple of people that honestly brought their A game, who did a fantastic job in this first half of the Global Ghost Hunt. And this team was right on top of my list. From the first time I saw them, they went right up to the top. I actually have it in my notes. They're even starred and highlighted. And that is none other than Pitt. So, ladies and gentlemen, from Pitt, Jody.
Hello.
How you doing?
Jody.
Go figure. Started barking as soon as the sun.
Get a little bit of audio.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. Can you hear us all right, Jody?
Oh yeah, I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, we can.
First of all, props. Huge props to you and your team.
Thank you.
You guys did an amazing investigation. Absolutely stunning location. And
it is.
And for those who don't know who you are, can you just give a little brief history of Pitt? Who you guys are, where you come from?
Well, basically, our group started back in 2012. I was part of another group called HPRS, and they were more focused on making a TV show and so on. I didn't like that. I really wanted to develop the group to help people.
Okay.
Do home investigations, and that's what we started doing. In fact, we've hardly ever been on online or try to make too many videos and so on. And only recently, since we got Lisa in, have we really started doing any type of PR campaign.
Okay.
We generally go home, deal with clients who are having paranormal issues.
Mm-hmm.
We try to solve the problem, or at the very least, put the entity to sleep. In the end, we have about 40% where the entity completely leaves. About 20% the entity goes to sleep for about 6 months. Some cases, literally, you can set your clock by them. They'll come up every 6 months, almost exactly. And we have to constantly go in, do a mop up, and all that. And with the Haunted Majestic, we do constantly work with them. We're not their employees or anything like that.
Okay.
But we do assist them during their ghost tours and so on. And that allows us to get a little funding for when we go on our home investigations, because that's the main reason we do it. Because batteries aren't free, neither is gas getting to a client. So we do ghost tours at the Haunted Majestic, and it gives us a little bit of money to help people out. And we try to get as much data organized and so on when we go to a house. Sometimes it takes an hour to 2 hours to get to a home. So we set up a base camp where they go through data in real time as everyone else is searching and so on. I know on the ship we have the luxury of having a really nice base camp. Normally it's laptops in a tent, pop-up tent outside someone's yard when we go to a home investigation, though.
Been there.
Yeah.
17 years of doing it. I've been there.
Right. And, we just try to, that way, if something's going on in the living room, we can know and actually focus our efforts there and so on. I kind of sort of keep my team fairly well trained and knowledgeable in our tech and our current tech too. We're always trying to find better techniques, better ways of handling these investigations.
Mm. Well, I will say, and I don't know if you've been listening in, but one thing that really impressed me was your base setup that you had at the Majestic, and that was probably one of the more professional settings that I've seen in a while, and huge props. Now, how long does that usually take for you to get that set up?
Normally, we can get a base camp in operation. I've got Christine and Isaac pretty well trained. They can get a base camp up and going within 15 minutes with the pop-up tent and everything.
Holy crap, that's really cool.
Yeah, and that's including one of the laptops is used for data dumps and getting SD cards cleared, as well as the other larger screen one has a better mic and all that for data analysis on the go. The third one acts as a backup if either two gives out on battery life.
Okay. All right.
With the Haunted Majestic, then, we got to see, 2 hours of your investigation. But I'm sure you've been there before. Can you give us a bit of an insight of the kind of spirits that you've encountered there and, who you've come across when you've investigated before?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Generally speaking, they do seem to be young male, for one. They can be very ongoing with the female investigators, and even when we have guests at the during our ghost tours and stuff, a lot of times the guests will report getting their hair touched and so on. They're these entities, they seem to a little flirted towards the ladies. However, even during the blind box sessions, a lot of times we get like jokes towards the male investigators if they're asking questions and so on. However, with that said, this prior to the actual Global Ghost Hunt event, one of our junior investigators, we have two younger people that are interested. They're in high school, and they're being trained. And the female member, Amber, got really badly scratched up, and it kept going throughout the night doing that. In fact, even after we got done recording, she got attacked again. It literally looked like the Tasmanian devil got a hold of her back. And that's extremely rare. We never seen anything like that from any of the entities in there. So we're trying to figure out if this was something that came along the river. We're right on the Ohio River, and there has been entities that travel up and down this river. Mm-hmm. We've had one of the most notable one is the Dark Man. We've had, I want to say 9 home investigations over the last 10 years along the Ohio. And about 4 of them, the children have reported they saw a dark man. Now, this guy, he wears all black, like a suit, with shiny black shoes and a dark black hat. Sometimes they draw like a little derby. Sometimes it's a ball cap. And the entity tends to scratch them when they sleep. What makes this really notable is these homes are not interconnected, or they don't speak amongst themselves. And so, I mean, is it the Dark Man? We don't know, but Usually he comes when someone's sleeping, not when they're doing an investigation. There's also been wisp spotted around that property too, so you want to be careful there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we have our next guest, and Jody, you're welcome to hang out and have some fun with us as well. You're welcome to stay.
Okay.
And we talked about this individual a little bit ago, and we talked about the trigger objects.
Oh, Brian.
So, guys from SRI Huntington, give a very warm welcome to a brother of mine, Mr. Brian Clary. What is up?
How's it going, gentlemen?
How you doing today?
I'm doing all right, man. Just got home from work.
Oh, I know.
How you doing, Jody?
Just fine, Brian. Staying busy?
What was that, guys? I'm sorry. The sound cut out on me for a minute there.
Oh, Jody just said staying busy.
Oh, okay. I got you. Sun cut out on me for a minute there.
So we got a couple of West Virginia boys, Nando. So you better be careful.
So this is the honest truth, you all. I am 3 minutes away from the Haunted Majestic right now.
Oh, jeez.
My son's yelling at me from the trampoline.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Oh, so Brian, one thing I want to talk about with you, and we were speaking about it a little earlier. I know you just came home from work, but number one, we talk about trigger objects in the paranormal all the time.
I got you.
Your location, the museum, has literally all the trigger objects that you can even wish for. What's it like? What's it like there investigating?
So, give you a little bit of background on the facility. There used to be some investigators that came in there probably 10, 15 years ago. Yeah. Initially, it was pretty early on when the building was opened up to investigations. The facility was founded as the museum in 91. So some folks had come in there for a period of time, and it was kind of hit or miss. It always has been. Even when I've been there the last 10, 15 years, close to 15 now at this point, it's been kind of hit or miss. But it's interesting because it can vary quite heavily from day to day to season is another part of it. Wintertime in that facility seems to be quite a bit more active. I don't know exactly why. But it seems like, especially when the activity going in and out of the building is a little bit more kind of subdued, the activity from inside the building ramps up. We've had, over the years, reports of hearing kids in the halls, sounds, strange noises. Oh, one person I worked with that works in the library a lot has talked about seeing shadows and stuff like that back there. I've never observed that personally, but I've heard the sounds. So it's a very interesting location. And the thing about the place is it's never the same. The reason why is there are stuff coming in that building every single week from all over. There's they just recently got back. The president and several of the workers just got back from Indianapolis, came back with a complete collection. So a lot of the stuff they brought back with them ended up coming with them. And my son, sorry.
Hey, this is all good.
It's good. Seamus, watch out, bub.
See, folks, this is why
this is what it is.
And this is why I say the paranormal field is a family affair. You know, this is a family thing. Everyone always looks down on the paranormal. No, guys, this is family friendly. Paranormal can be family friendly. Just don't have my wife, as you saw in our investigation. So there was a question asked, and I think it was Jen Jacobs, our sister Jen Jacobs, asking, where are you guys in West Virginia? Brian, I know you're in the Huntington area. Jody, what about you?
Well, same area.
They're neighbors. They're actually neighbors. They're looking at each other.
Collaborate on a lot of things.
Just a question to you, Brian. Then, with
the
location that you investigated for the Global Ghost Hunt, and you've done over the course of the years, you're getting a lot of new items in. Is it hard to try and establish what kind of spirits you're dealing with and who you're dealing with? How do you
That's the hardest part of it is, and the thing about it is there's hundreds of thousands of items in there. And it's practically impossible to figure out which ones for sure are the things. Now, there's a few items in there that probably had more of an emotional attachment. There's an old the Forest D12 that goes back to 1924 in there. Several old Victrolas and stuff like that. And when you bought like the old Victrolas, that was a money and emotional investment for that time. And when they were going out and they were building that was something that was to be parties, that was entertainment, that was the entertainment for those folks at the time. So anything that's attached to those is likely to be a little bit stronger because if you think about it, there have been people clustered around the things and kind of interacting with it. So it's very difficult to really assess what is in there from day to day or even week to week or so on. Generally, I think most of the stuff that is in the building that I have had any kind of observations of has been stuff that has been with the facility itself. The school opened in 1929. It sits right up against the old Harveytown graveyard, and like literally right behind it is the old Harveytown graveyard. And there are graves in there from the 1830s on. So it's kind of a smorgasbord, if you will, of things that are going on in that building. So there's a lot of things that it could be.
Well, so it's like a big jigsaw puzzle with lots of little bits that you're trying to piece together, and it's like it's one of those never-ending ones in a way.
Absolutely.
You know what you're going to get then with the location.
Yeah, there's so much stuff that comes in and out of that place that you can't even keep track of it anyway, let alone like the spiritual attachments and such.
You know, I have to say this, Brian. I gave Jody huge props for pit setup and the walkthrough, and huge props to you guys as well. SRI did an amazing job with your walkthrough, very knowledgeable, not just yourself, but your entire team. And, you know, I know you were coming home from work, but I even said to Nando, one thing I noticed that a lot of teams forget about is the weather, you know, and the lunar cycles and stuff like that. And you guys nailed it. And I have to give you guys a huge shout out, huge props for that.
So when we think about that, the reason why I like to include that, and it's stuff that we're starting to incorporate in more of our little web series, is the way Teresa always puts it. Teresa, my co-founder, she's the rock that I lean on to get everything going. I'd rather have more data than less. I'd rather have more information than none. Anything I can have gives me a little bit more to kind of go by to maybe kind of put pieces of the puzzle together to figure out what is going on. I know we just did a video on a big building down in Logan County, West Virginia. And that's one thing that I wanted to incorporate because we were there 2 separate nights, 2 different seasons, 2 different moon phases, everything like that. Those things are important to include in there, and that's something that most people forget.
Absolutely. All right, so gentlemen, we're going to be joined by another of the admin team here. I didn't even know it, but you know what? It's always awesome to see this guy. He's also going to be featured in at least one, I believe, one event of the Global Ghost Night. He might be in a second. I'm not sure. But ladies and gentlemen, from Talking with the Source and also Coventry Circle, our brother, AJ Capasso. What is up, brother?
What is up, my brothers? How are you guys?
Fine.
Doing all right, man.
First, I just want to say to you guys did an amazing investigation, like Matt said. Just want to piggyback off it and say I couldn't be more proud to have you guys a part of Global Ghost Hunt. You guys are knowledgeable, amazing. Jody, absolutely amazing, my friend. There's so much more I want to talk to you about. So keep going, Matt. Thank you so much for letting me join.
Hey, absolutely. Your family. You're always welcome. So, guys, we're having a little fraternity party here, but I think it's time to have a little female presence. And honestly, I'm excited for this one because we've seen her a lot. She is very supportive in the paranormal field. She has I always see her in the podcast. I always see her in the audience. I always see her having fun. But I never see her in front of this. We never see this. And not only did she show up and did a great job, but so did her team. So, ladies and gentlemen, from CMPS, the lovely one and only Suzette.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you.
So, Suzette, first of all, again, I don't know if you heard Nando and I talking about the investigation earlier. Absolutely beautiful location. You and your team did an amazing job. The location was stunning. The doll was still creepy, but it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So huge props to you and your team for a great investigation. And
thank you. The place is huge. You don't realize it until, like going up the street towards it. It's just bam right in front of you. It's huge.
Wow.
Oh, and you know what? It's absolutely stunning. And I've even said this. I think Nando, was this during the? I don't think it was the kickoff ceremony. I think it was our GGH Live a week before. The SK Pierce is one of those to where you just look at it, and guys, if you haven't seen it, check out the thumbnail. You look at it, and you know that's haunted. Like, that's one of those. If I think of a haunted house, SK Pierce is right up there. Just like another one that the Minnesota Spirit Hunters will be doing, but that's definitely one. So, Suzette, let me ask you then: is there anything that you experienced that we didn't see? Any activity you want to talk about?
So it and again, it's quite amazing. The person that takes care of it, Marion, is phenomenal. I originally did a tour with her. But I have to say, weirdly enough, I still feel connected to the house. And I could go into more detailing later. But so when we first got into the place, it was quiet. We were beginning to set up. And I actually tried like a regular teacher's bell that you could just press lightly and it would go off. I said, why not? I'll just try one of those. So I took them out and I put them on the table. And while we were going upstairs setting up, you heard the bell go off. Ding, 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 ding. It's saying, okay, we're ready. So, yeah, it was interesting. It took a long time to set up. In all honesty, we didn't honestly have enough equipment to put it in every room. So it was just huge.
I don't know about you guys, but I feel the same way. Every investigation I go to, it's like I never have enough cameras. Yeah. I never have enough recorders. I never have enough this and enough that. And then I look at my bank account and I'm like, oh, that's why. Yeah. But Suzette, you also prepared yourself in a different way. A lot of us, have our own little rituals. We all have our own little things. If you're all right with it, I'd love to share it because this is cool. Okay. So we all talk about, Brian, we talked about trigger objects, and I know Jody, you said the same thing whenever you were out on the Haunted Majestic. There's a lot of different things that from that period. Suzette takes it a step further, and I have to give her a huge prop and huge shout out because she dresses for the occasion.
Oh, okay.
Now, Suzette, let us talk about it. Talk about this. We have to know.
So, come to find out, because I've actually been working with a really good friend of mine that's she's really gifted and she's a medium. She actually, and I kind of knew about it also, but she said in my past life, I was in the Victorian era. So I said, and everybody that passed there was in the Victorian era. So I said, hey, why not? Why don't I dress the Victorian so that maybe possibly I could get more connected to them?
Okay. That's really cool. And I think, Nando, you and I were talking about it. Like I've taken, when I did the USS North Carolina, I brought some of my Navy stuff. I wore that. Have any of you guys, like Jody, Brian, AJ, have you guys ever done stuff like that? Nando, you too. Have you guys ever dressed like this, like the period?
I never thought, and we said this earlier on, the things that we're learning from these teams, and I think what Suzette's done is great. She's dressed to be part of the location. But just a question to you, Suzette, doing that, do you feel that brought the spirits forward to you more, that you felt that more of a connection with those spirits dressed the way they would have dressed in that sort of time?
I honestly did. I really felt connected to them. I have to say the house was quieter than normal, which nobody understood. But there were a couple of instances that I don't think you guys caught while I was filming that kind of in a way kind of blew my mind. And I discovered a EVP on my voice recorder that I literally almost dropped to the floor when I heard it. So it was, but the funny thing is that all of my video equipment, because I had 2 ghost hunting Phasm cameras, and they were blinking, saying that they were recording. But once I removed them and took them home to review the footage, it got all erased. So
dealt with that.
the only thing I had was the voice recorder, and my teammates have their video footage, but they didn't catch anything. So the only thing we have is EVP.
Well,
oh yeah.
Go ahead, Nando. Go ahead, brother.
I was going to say, with everyone, everyone's opinion on this. Do you think the spirits purposely do it because they know what we're trying to achieve? Do you think that's their way to, play around? I know, Jody, I've heard you on other shows before, and I think it was with AJ. You talk about the equipment and how it's easy for the spirits to do what they want with it. Do you think that's the case, with what Suzette's experienced and what we experienced as well? 1 minute the camera was working, then it stopped, then it started working. Do you think these are spirits purposely doing this to avoid us getting the evidence that we're trying to get from the locations? What do you guys think?
I have to agree. In fact, if you watched our segment towards the end, we tried to set up a SLS with a projector during a blind box session. And this isn't our first time doing this. And I tested it right before. And you see all through that's glitching. It's blinking out. We can't keep the signal straight. And this is a hard wire. And really, as soon as we stop and Chris takes the headphones off, bam, perfect picture. Really.
Crazy.
Yeah. So obviously that might be on to us, guys.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story if it's okay.
How about it?
We did the investigation down in Logan County back in summer of last year, and had to set up a camera system, 8 camera system throughout this building. This building was something like 140,000 square foot. So we were running massively long cables and stuff like that to hit different parts of the building. It actually took us 12 cameras to cover about a quarter of the building. We got everything set up. Everything was running. We went through and checked everything. This is a facility that is tied to the Blair Mountain Mine Wars. This is a facility that's tied to the Hatfield McCoys. The McCoys actually own it now. It used to be Hatfield territory. It's McCoy owning it now. So we set everything up. Everything was working. Everything was great. We checked everything, checked all of our boxes and such. 10 hours worth of footage on 12 cameras. So 120 hours worth of footage. You get home and it's all gone.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No explanation why. Went back and tried to check everything that I could. Nothing out of the ordinary. So it's just that's what happens. Sometimes this stuff just disappears. I don't know if it's just a technical issue or if it's something more. Jody's got his buddy there with him.
I see that. Well,
it happens.
Yeah, it happened to me too. It happened to me at the USS North Carolina. I didn't have any of my video or audio for months, and then all of a sudden, it was there. I didn't touch it. I didn't format it, but there it is. So Suzette, I will let you know that if you'd like, I know it's not the entirety, but we are more than happy to give you what we caught for the live. We have all the lives recorded. You are welcome to have it if you'd like. We can provide that for you.
Did you guys catch when I almost fell on the floor?
Yeah, we caught it. You know what? It's good though too, and I like these little things. And I know, Nando, you said Mackenzie outshined me with the comedy, which she did. But it's good to see a lighthearted thing in the paranormal. It's good to have those lighthearted things because we're human.
Okay.
We're human. Blooper reel.
Well, speaking of blooper reel, I mean, you guys live near Raymond Newsom.
Oh yeah.
So I am so sorry for that, first of all. But we love Raymond. But no, it's good. It's good to have one thing I've noticed that all your teams have done, and all the teams so far, we all have fun. We all have fun. We are all enjoying it, and you can really see the passion in the field. And your three teams right here, you've got SRI, you've got Pitt, and you've got CMPS. You guys have done phenomenal, especially like Suzette. This was your first.
Yeah.
This was your first live, and CMPS killed it. No pun intended. You guys killed it, and we would hope to see more. So there was a couple of comments that I saw in the chat that I want to highlight real quick. First of all, for Brian, let's see, is Casey Brab? I guess is the name. Is they on your team? Jen's one.
Casey Brab is our videographer.
Okay, that was a question that she had, and she was asking about where you guys are from because her mom is from Logan, and her cousins went to Marshall, so that's why she went.
Okay.
And apparently, Suzette, you'll be at the International Women Paracon that Jen's throwing.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Because Jen brought. I guess you are. See, even you don't know. But yeah, apparently you're going. So clear your schedule.
Okay.
No, I'm speaking of Raymond. But no, guys, like I said, I just want to give you guys a huge shout out for everything you guys have all done in your teams. You all should be very proud of yourselves. And for those of you, again, please go back to the videos and follow their links. We have links for everybody's group, Pitt, SRI, CMPS, and everybody. And give them some love and support because they definitely deserve it. Now, before I let you guys go, I do want to ask you one last question. And Suzette, we will start with you. First of all, why did you join the Global Ghost Hunt, and what have you really enjoyed so far?
Oh my God, it was absolutely unbelievable. So my group has been through tough times. I mean, we had a whole bunch of people, and through the COVID and everything, we lost a lot of people. It was basically down to myself and the founder. But recently, I was given the team because due to her health issues, etc. And then, so we do have a team of 2 right now, and we're just starting back up again.
Very nice. So, are we expecting to see CMPS for October?
Definitely. So if anybody knows of an investigation, let us know. Let me know. I'm open to anything. And I have been sort of talking to Nando for a podcast. So
yes. We're going
Why
to
were you
come
going
up
to say?
with a few ideas. So again,
You can't tell your co-host this?
yeah.
Oh, it was
Spoiler alert!
I love giving him crap because he gets so flustered.
No.
It's funny.
No.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, we want to think of ideas and do something definitely different. The whole, like, I'll probably dress up as Victorian. Who knows? I might have a whole new setup going on, but we definitely want to do it.
Awesome.
It's definitely, and I think, I should say, with a lot of people involved in the Global Ghost Hunt, there's a lot of people that will help out with that. But there's some great ideas coming out from Suzette, what she wants to do. And, I'm willing to help out, and hopefully we can get her going after the first Global Ghost Hunt. And we'll see a lot more of Suzette and, and see what she brings to the table. It'll be great. We're looking forward to it. We designed a new logo together, didn't we? We had fun with that.
Absolutely. Love it.
So yeah, there's a lot more to see from Suzette and her team, and we're looking forward to it.
Good. You definitely deserve it. Great, absolutely great job. Brian, what about you? Why did you join, and what did you take from it? What do you think so far?
I think for us, a lot of it was international networking. That's one of the things that I really have kind of enjoyed more than anything. Also, networking with other groups within the nation. And you probably will see us. I've got a couple ideas. Nothing definitive yet, but there might be a special location that has never been done before involved. So
Oh, that would be cool. That sounds really cool.
I'm just going to give you a little bit of a hint. It has something to do with the Hatfield McCoys.
Oh no! See, now don't forget, I'm within driving distance. Just remember that.
You can come. Oh, I got my son here. He's here. He's showing up. Say
Hi, buddy.
Seamus.
Hi.
You've got thousands of people watching you. What do you want to
He
say?
does. What do you want to say? You got thousands of people watching you right now. What do you want to say?
Adios, amigos.
That was great.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Right?
That's great.
Jody, what about you?
So you can tell who's the camera ham here.
Raymond says hi.
Yeah, Raymond knows he's. Well, the show's over. It's time to go home now.
All right, Jody, go ahead, brother.
We're usually really busy in October, so you probably won't see us in October.
Okay.
Between home investigations and helping with the Haunted Majestic and giving ghost tours during that month, it stretches us pretty thin. Hopefully our trainees will be up to snuff by then. The reason we kind of did it is, once again, to let people know we exist. If you, we used to make it a joke with our team. If you typed in Pit of Huntington, you would get Pita Pit.
Yeah.
We call them all the well, they even have the same color for the logo. Mostly it's our way of letting people know we handle home investigations and we're here to help. That's our main goal as a team, and hopefully it'll pan out.
I'm sure it definitely will. You guys are a great team. All of you guys are. You all have great teams. You guys are very thorough, very professional, still have obviously a lot of fun, as everybody can see. And I see big things for everybody. And, I know we've said this on GGH Live before. I know Brian has said it. Lex has said it. We've all said it. The support doesn't just stop at the end of this event. It's going to continue on. So, feel free. You guys have, the ways to reach out. We are more than happy to help out in every way, shape, or form. And I'm excited to see what comes out with you guys. I'm excited to, Pitt. Jody, I saw the location, saw the name. I was like, let's do it. That's awesome. Suzette, I always see you in chat. I saw the Victorian. I was like, let's go. That's haunted. That's definitely haunted. That's beautiful. You showed me what you were wearing that night. I'm like, yes, let's do this. That's awesome. Brian, I've seen you and Raymond. Raymond's in.
That's
but
enough
I've seen,
to say.
Yeah, well.
That's enough.
I've seen your investigations. I've seen what SRI can do. You guys are awesome. You have a great team. You all should be proud of your teams. So great job, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Great job all around. All right. So I'm gonna take you guys backstage. You're welcome to hang out for a little bit longer if you like. We can chat after the show. AJ, you're not going anywhere. You're stuck. So you came up. You know how that goes. So
that works for me.
All right. So Suzette, Brian, Jody, thank you so much for joining the GGH Live Halftime Show. Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.
That was awesome.
That was
that was cool.
You know what? You just
them.
Stay in the audience.
That was really cool to speak to each and every one of them, and why they did it, to hear it from themselves instead of us saying it all the time. It just shows, this is a great event, and each and every one of them brought something new to the table. And I think they're going to do great things going forward. I'm so excited to see what they do after the Global Ghost Hunt. Like we said, Suzette's got a lot of ideas. And, I'm blessed to be part of that. She's asked for some help. And it's just great. It just shows what this kind of event can really do. It draws people together. And I think it's like Brian said, internationally as well, because I'm in the UK, you guys are over in the US. It's just great. And it's just a great event to be part of.
Absolutely. And, you know, Jody said the one thing that I know Brian, myself, Nando, you, and all the admins, all of us, we've all said that this is one of the goals that we were trying to do with the Global Ghost Hunt. And that's to get these teams out there, to get them recognized, get them known. And Jody said it perfectly. That's exactly what just happened. You know, so this event, this setup, this is what we're doing. It is working. It is working. And I'm excited. So, guys, before we cut out, and AJ, you know how it is to have a halftime show. We always have to say on what's coming up. We got to talk about what's coming up, so that way the audience, you know what's going on. You know what's going on, and you can plan for it. So obviously we talked about Haunted 505 Paranormal. That's coming on a little bit later tonight at 8:30. And then you've got PN Paranormal with Michael Wong at 10. You do not want to miss either investigation. I'm telling you that right now. Nando and I got a little teaser, and I'm telling you, you do not want to miss it. We saw we saw like 2 minutes, just in 2 minutes time, and already we're like, more. And I want to watch more. Brian, don't turn it off.
The thing to give out to Michael, you know, he is doing it as Lone Ranger. He's in a whole building on his own. And when I say it's pitch black in there, it is pitch black. It's no joke. And I think he even stayed in there on his own at night. So, you know, 2 great investigations to close off this evening, which is going to be phenomenal. Valerie, Haunted 505, she'll be going live. And then moving on to Michael Wong. 2 great investigations that they're going to be great. It's definitely ones you want to stay up and watch.
Absolutely.
Amen.
And then for tomorrow, guys, tomorrow is an interesting one. I'm really excited for this because I've been excited for this one since the Global Ghost Hunt was started. And that is none other than the lovely ladies at Rootless Destinations. Yes. They will be at Claiborne House, in Texas. Another one just like Suzette's at SK Pierce. You just know it's haunted. You can see it. You can see it right there. It's like, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Rootless can do. They're a great team. They're really good, talented investigators at a beautiful location. That is going to be one you do not want to miss, and that starts at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. And then right after them, our brother, Anthony, from Texas Wraith Hunters. He's going live at an undisclosed location in San Antonio. So he's in Lurker neck of the woods. I don't know who's going to pop up. He just told me that he's got a couple of special guests. That's all he said to me. So I don't know if we might see a Lurker. We might see some other people. I don't know. And with the Wraith Prince, you just never know. You just never know with him. And then on May 12th, we have our other family members, the Minnesota Spirit Hunters. They are one of the ones who are going out of state, and they're going to be at Victorian View venue. This is another one, guys, that I know you guys have seen the thumbnail. Another beautiful location. And it's not just the entirety. It's also a bridal shop, too, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes. Yeah, it's a bridal shop as well.
AJ, did you freeze or are you just... Okay, blink for me. Yeah, you just...
I'm just listening. I was intrigued by what you're saying. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that was brilliant. That was awesome. You're just sitting there, and I'm like, did he freeze or did blink? No. Are you okay? Blink twice.
Oh yeah, no, I'm intrigued. Sorry, my apologies.
You're good, brother. You're good.
That freaked you out.
Raymond says yes, it is a bridal shop. And the Hunters, we've seen the Hunters many times. Minnesota Spirit Hunters doing an absolutely phenomenal job with their investigations. Marcus is very knowledgeable. His team's very knowledgeable. They're very thorough, but they also have a lot of fun. Let's be honest with them. And I'm excited to see what they can do with that one. And I think a lot of people are looking forward to this one as well at midnight, which Brian and I were talking. Technically it's the 13th, but we're calling it the 12th. Relatively Paranormal is going to be at Hinsdale.
The Hinsdale House. That'll be another cool watch as well.
And that's another one that, and I know AJ, for you and myself, that's not too far away.
No, I was supposed to go there with them, and unfortunately, even I was supposed to go also with Suzette, but unfortunately, some things popped up with the family that I had to take care of and financial reasons. But I tell you what, that house, man, it's going to be an amazing investigation for them, and I'm super excited for them as well, man. It's going to be awesome to see.
Well, I've seen Todd and Marissa's footage from there before, from a
Yeah.
previous investigation, and they got a lot of good activity. And just like with the Waldorf from Paranormal, they might have a consultant up against the window just looking in. You know what I mean? I might have to take a quick trip. So moving on to May 13th, Emerald Isle Paranormal.
And
Jenny.
Investigating the Drogheda Museum Millman.
Drogheda. Okay. It's one of those ones. I don't know what you guys do, but you guys have, even your location. I have such a terrible time pronouncing it.
Do you know what? I've said it before. I am not a built-in dictionary. I find it hard to pronounce words, and this one has taken me ages to try and get it right. So I don't even know if I've said it right still, but there.
Drogheda. Drogheda. Drogheda.
Drogheda.
Okay.
I'm not even trying.
Drogheda. So.
Either way, it's another one that's a beautiful location. Beautiful location.
I've actually seen Jenny when she's investigated that location. I've seen the inside of it being on live, and it looks amazing. They've had some amazing responses from there as well. So another investigation that no doubt is going to be a great one to watch.
Absolutely, and Jenny and her team, like you said, they bring their own style, and they do a really great job. And I think a lot of people are waiting for the next one. And that is before SPI.
Oh.
Before that, our paranormal queen,
Miss
Patty Adams, and the GT. Yeah, you better take your hat off in reverence to her.
I'm sorry.
But Miss Patty Adams and her daughter Heather from the G team are going to be hitting up Gilchrist Jail. Oh my. And I know the owner, Henry, has been in our audience throughout the course of the event. He's excited. Patty and Heather are excited for it. And again, it's one of those locations that it doesn't look like it's going to be like a huge. It's not big. It's not a big place. But the reputation's there. The history's there. And let's be honest, it's Patty and Heather. They do an amazing job. And we'll actually get to see both in front of the camera, which is good, is where they belong.
Hey, you know what I love? You know what I love about them is that their connection, just like all these teams, their connection, man, is there with these spirits, and especially with Patty and Heather, like their connection to the afterlife is just so strong, in my opinion. And I love the evidence that they capture, and I think that's the reason, obviously, why they're so successful in what they do, because of that connection that they have, you know. And it's just amazing to see. Truly is.
Absolutely. And yeah, I was just reminded too, for Emerald Isle, they will actually be doing something different. They're going to be having 2 cameras running at one time for their live. They're going to have one that is going to be static and the other that's going to be just them walking around. So I'm interested to see that. And I think sometimes we forget about that sometimes things happen whenever we're not around, which is why I took the trail cam. I took the trail cam to Penhurst. It's for that reason. But anyway, moving on. After Patty, which is going to be a hard one to follow, is AZ Pie. They're a new group that I, no offense, I've never heard of, but I'm excited. Gila County Jail. This one's a little bit.
I'm very excited for them too, man. I worked with them closely, and I'm very excited to see their live. I think it's going to be absolutely awesome, and I think it's great. Like you said before, you know, you don't really know them. A lot of people may not know them, so this is going to open up so much for them, I hope, and I'm excited for it, guys.
And you know what? Not to put pressure. I saw AZ Pie was in the audience. Not to put pressure. I wouldn't want to follow Patty. Patty and Heather. I wouldn't want to follow, but no, I know you guys will do great. I know AZ Pie, you know, this is going to be a great time. And what a beautiful location. Absolutely stunning. All these locations are stunning. And I'm looking forward to learning. I will have my notebook ready. I will, see. I actually have it right here. I actually have it in my notebook right here. And then following AZ Pie is SPI of Arizona at the Bullion Plaza. They have their work cut out for them, guys. They have their work cut out. That is a huge location.
It looks beautiful. Well, just from the outside, from the fun now, it looks amazing.
The pressure.
You'll do fine. You'll do fine, AZ Pie. You will. You will. But yeah, absolutely stunning. Stunning location. It looks like it's got a lot of history. I'm grateful for you guys showing all these badass locations. That's the thing, Nerdwitch. That's what this event is about. You know, we've said this so many times. It's about teams like AZ Pie, Pitt, SRI, CMPS, and many others who we've never really heard of. This is their time to shine, to show us what they're looking for, what they do, and showcase their talents and abilities.
Hey, Matt, you know what I love about this event the most, though?
What's
out of
that?
everything, out of all the locations, out of all the amazing teams, out of all the amazing lives, what I love the most is the camaraderie, the connection that you make with these people that you never met before, but yet the connection is there. It's amazing. These people are amazing, and you're making new friends. You're making new acquaintances, and it's so great to see, because we've talked so many times about how this field can go this way. You know, and it's so great to see everyone together and happy and having fun and doing what they love. So I think that's what I love the most. You know what I mean?
I'm 100% with you.
Do you know, I agree with that, AJ, massively. And this has shown it in so many ways. Like, yes, there is drama outside, but I think with what we've created, we're inside this bubble where no one can touch what we have. And it's absolutely great. Like you said, we're making connections with people that you wouldn't have, you know, if you wasn't part of this event. You know, we talk behind the scenes. You know, I always say this all the time. We don't just talk for the camera. We don't just talk for the live. Me and Matt, you know, we had a conversation, about a good 2-hour conversation, and we were Googling where he lives, and we were looking at different parts. Me and you, AJ, we've spent time on the phone. And, you know, I've got to say, I've made some amazing friends that, not just for the paranormal, but just friends as who you are, and it's been absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely.
Is that Mr. Lavity? You're welcome there.
Probably. Because I see it coming up on everyone.
It backs out there. Mr. Lavity had a small part of it.
Mister.
You know, that's it. But I'm only joking.
Well, he'll get a hold of you backstage.
Oh, no. Is that the time? I've got to go and do my hair.
No.
It's been great.
I want to shift gears real quick because this was just brought up. So Stephen Woodard, who'd like to take a minute to remember one of our family members that passed away this Saturday night, Meg Mahoney. You will be missed. Okay, so guys, please all join me in sending some prayers and condolences to Meg's family and anyone and all of her friends. Huge, huge, huge love and support. Big hearts. So moving on, we had SBI at the Bullion. And then following up is the one and only Jen Jacobs from Eclipse Paranormal. And this is another big one. Collingwood Art Center in Ohio. This one looks like it looks like it's on like a university or a college. And it's just one of those big old massive buildings. And if it's what I think it is, and they have art pieces and stuff, people put their time, energy, and, you know, heart and soul into these pieces. So you want to talk about another huge thing, huge trigger object area?
That's going to be one.
Ooh. And Jen and Eclipse, Jen does a great job. Let's be honest. Jen does an absolutely great job. And I know she does the women's retreat. She's doing the men of the paranormal, which I know myself and Raymond Newsom will be out at in November. But holy crap, this thing is huge. Thank you, everybody. Seriously, thank you. But Jen's that's gonna be a heck of a show. And it's at midnight. It's starting at midnight. So the investigation, if I know Jen, she's gonna be there pretty early. She's gonna start investigating. So we're gonna get right in the middle of a lot of this stuff. And that's a great time to be investigating.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's a great way to wrap up the Saturday night. And finally, we have on the 14th, the last day, the last team, and honestly, I think this is going to be an interesting one, and that is Abyss Paranormal. They're going to be in I can't remember the name of the town in Missouri, but they're going to be in the general store in this town or around this town, and it's going to be they're doing one of these locations where Windyville. Thank you, Brian. Windyville, one of them. Windyville. I'm gonna go with Windyville because that's what Brian put up.
So. At the end, yeah.
That one. They're gonna be there, and it's not just one location. This is one of the ones where we're gonna see multiple. We're gonna be seeing multiple different perspectives, different things, and I don't know what to expect. And I know Abyss is good. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think?
It'll be another good one. I think it is going to be a good investigation. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, 100%. I'm looking forward to it as well. I mean, they're great people, and I've had a chance to talk to them multiple times, and I'm super excited for them, and I can't wait, man. I'm pumped to see what comes about and everything, and it's going to be great for them, and it's great for all the teams. But I'm super excited for the ones that I've gotten to get to know closely, and very excited for everyone. So,
well, I mean, just like Suzette, Vicky is always in the chat. We always see her support, and it's time that we turn the tables on her. We show our support, and
amen.
7 p.m. be there, support Vicky, support Abyss Paranormal, and let's see what they can do. Let's have some fun. I know they're good investigators. They know their stuff. And just not locked into one location. Daring. Very daring.
Sorry, one thing 1, 2, 4, 5. One thing I wanted to say is not just for anyone who is not, even if you're not able to watch, if you're working, whatever it may be, if you could help these teams out by sharing these events, it helps them immensely. And even for myself, when I'm at work and I can't sit down to watch a full live, I make sure still to be able to, put it on every single page that I have, because I want to get these teams out there. So if there's anyone watching now that hey, I may not be able to watch this live, or maybe I want it later or something, just if you could at least just share it out for them, so that it helps these teams and helps them grow.
Absolutely. And honestly, folks, here I'm not trying to be Mr. Stern here because it's me, but there's no excuse why you can't share it. I share it just like AJ. I share it at work. Takes 2 seconds. You go to the bathroom. Oh, share, done.
Yeah,
I've done it. I actually did it last night. Raymond's while I was at work. Oh, Raymond's like, okay, and back to my job.
Yeah.
Even one share is enough. One share is enough, folks. And these teams deserve it. Raymond, but
and
Raymond knows that.
I think not just the teams. Definitely the teams do deserve it. Yeah. But bearing in mind, some of the locations do rely on funding from these investigations to keep them going. 100%. And if we're not showcasing these locations, they are going to disappear with history. They're just going to be history and some of them need to stay where they are because they are beautiful buildings. They got a lot of beautiful history. So you're not just helping the teams, but you will be helping these locations to be recognized and giving them a reason to continue having their doors open. So there's that part of it as well. And I think that was another reason why we're all involved in the Global Ghost Hunt, is to, in a way, look after these locations. So
there she is. There's Jenny. But
so definitely.
I want to. Speaking of sharing, Liz's comment. She is, and I will attest to this. Liz is always sharing, because every time after an event or a podcast, my feed and my notifications, there's like 30 of them, and it's all Liz.
You know what? If there was a medal for the Sharer Award, it would go to Liz, because I've seen it as well. She's phenomenal. She will get as many people involved in the podcast as possible. So, fair play to Liz for that.
Absolutely. And then right after Abyss Paranormal, Mr. will be coming on with the other director, Lex. They will be joining GGH Live, Nando, and myself for the wrap-up show. That'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday and the 14th. And we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. If you noticed on the calendar, folks, we actually don't have an end time for this. Why? Because there's so much. There's so much we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about the second half or the 4 days. That's just in 4 days. We went over all of those teams. That's just in 4 days. We've got all that to talk about. We've got to talk about what happened in the first half. Things we just talked about. We got to recap some of that. Some things we may have missed. Some things that we learned. Something new and exciting. News about what's going to be happening for October. What's going on for next year. We've got a lot. We've got a lot to talk about. So get comfortable. That's all I have to say. Clear your schedule from 7. Watch Abyss Paranormal. And then hang out with us as we close out the very first Global Ghost Hunt. And honestly, with this lineup, we're finishing very strong. Yeah. Very strong, guys. And already it's been a success. We've had a lot of fun. We've learned a lot, not just in the paranormal side of it, but honestly in the admin staff. We've seen some things. We see some things that are working, some things that are not working, some things we need to tweak, some things we need to change. Yeah. People who need merch.
Hey, I've been on it.
Yourself.
You're banging at me again. All right.
Yeah, why not? I get tired. I go back and forth between you and Raymond. So you know
what? When we do the close-off show, you're going to be seeing me in Global Ghost Hunt gear. I even get a tattoo done with the Global Ghost Hunt on me.
There we go.
Ooh, that's an idea. Yeah, maybe. Well, Mister's backstage. That needs to be a requirement for an admin. You have to have a Global Ghost Hunt tattoo.
Yeah.
How dedicated are you?
And under mine, I'm going to have Matt's famous words.
Hey, you got an idea?
Hey,
I have an idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get this tattooed right here. I'm gonna get that logo. Wait till the new logo comes out. That one, but
we were giving we have a lot to talk about. There's going to be lots to talk about, and I think the way it's going to go is, I think Brian and Lex may kick it off, and then halfway through, me and you are going to take over, and then see. I don't
have the script, so I have no idea.
We'll just play by ear and see what happens.
You know what? We'll watch through the lens first, and I'll get some ideas, and I'll write them down. But before we get going tonight, guys, I do want to give one more shout out, and I think you two can agree with me on this. I want to give a huge, huge shout out to Brian, to Lex. You know, you guys don't understand how much work that goes into all this. I mean, yeah, it's fun. We all enjoy it. The admin staff enjoys it, but there's a lot that goes on. And through it all, Brian has created this, and Lex has been right there next to him, supporting him, helping out when he can. He's been busy. He's been juggling his job plus helping out. You know, huge shout out to those two, because without this, like people like Pitt, SRI, CMPS, and a lot of these other ones, they wouldn't get the recognition. So huge shout out. And we all know the other event. Who I'm talking about. Didn't step their game up. They can't touch this. Just saying. Or wait, what was it? What was it earlier? Well.
Oh yeah.
Because of the love that we have in this, it's the love that we have in this group of people. I think that's the reason we're very close. We have a lot of love for each other. We have a lot of respect for each other, and I think that's where we come in, and we're going to be successful in that realm.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, guys, huge thank you, and huge props to Brian and Lex. Seriously, in all seriousness, huge thank you.
Yes.
And honestly, for me personally, thank you to all the admin staff. We've done a lot of work. We've had a lot of time. We put in a lot of energy, a lot of headaches, but you all have stepped up. We've stepped up. We've had a lot of fun, and we've got the job done. And this is the easy part at this point. Well, well, as Brian would say,
Well,
we're still not done yet, but this first half has gone very well. All things considering, it's gone very well, and it's only going to get better, folks. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss anybody else. And like we said earlier, 8:30 tonight, you know what's going to happen. Haunted 505 is going to have a blast. I'm excited to see what happens. And then PN Paranormal is going to be coming up with Michael. That investigate, forget it. Guys, it blows this out of the water. What we're doing, you're in for a great night. You're in for a really, really great night.
Right.
So, and again, huge thanks to all you guys watching. Don't forget to share, like, and follow because we ain't done yet. So, guys, I'll let you guys close yourselves out, and we'll get out of here. We'll have some fun.
Well, I just want to say, firstly, thank you to Brian and Lex letting Portal to the Paranormal be part of the Global Ghost Hunt. It's been great working with you, Matt, AJ, and Brian a little bit. But no, we've really enjoyed it. It's been absolutely phenomenal meeting all the teams. There's some great teams, and like Matt's just said, the next few days there's some great teams coming up, and honestly, all of them are going to bring something different to the table. And if you can't watch it live, go back and watch it. It's everywhere. It's on Global Ghost Hunt Facebook page, YouTube, Twitter, PowerPost International, the G Team. Thank you for everyone sharing out all the lives. It really helps the teams, the locations, and all you viewers have been phenomenal throughout this whole process. So well done to you guys as well. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much I can say after that. Besides, I just want to say to Brian and Lex, thank you so much for this opportunity. Brian, thank you so much for all the opportunities that you've given me and everyone. Matt, thank you so much for being a great friend. Nando, you as well. Everyone else that's part of the admin team, you guys have just all been amazing. All the teams, I just want to thank every single one of you guys for joining us, coming, giving us the chance to prove ourselves to you. And we appreciate that. And like you said, Matt, there's some things obviously that we want to tweak and work on, and we will. And things are just going to get better from here. And I'm excited about that. So just want to say thank you to everyone, and share. That's all we can ask. If you can't watch, and you can go back, like Nando said, but definitely share. So thank you guys.
Oh, just two things for me. First of all, AJ, you ever call me a friend again, I'm going to come up there and kick your ass. We're family.
Listen.
Secondly, listen. Second thing, absolutely, guys. Thank you all so much for your continued support for not just what we're doing on the admin side, but to the teams and the locations, because that's what it's about. So please continue to share. Please continue to support everybody. Everybody has been just doing a phenomenal job, and I am so proud of each and every one of you. Please, let's finish strong. Let's get at least double the shares. Can we do that? That's a challenge I have for everybody. Let's double the shares, double the views, and let's have some fun. So from all of us here at GGH Live, thank you so much again for watching. I hope you guys have yourselves a great night. Always, always, always stay safe. And I don't care if it's my show or not, I'm going to say it.
Happy hauntings.
Mm.